This is gonna be a good one. First of all, I'm making this video for a pretty good reason, and that's because of the fact that the last YCS Bogota, was won by Chris Lofton, who piloted pure Despia instead of the Brave build. With that knowledge, it is perfectly reasonable to assume that the pure build is really good. However, we still need more evidence to kind of deduct whether that build or the Brave build is superior. If you're familiar with my channel, you might have remembered an older video that I uploaded where I showcased Shunsuke's article explaining how he preferred the Brave build over the pure build, and it really kind of goes to show a lot because he is a 2-time world champion and he has played the game for a long time. And by the way, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It really means a lot. I really appreciate it. But yeah, as I was saying, Shunsuke really went into details explaining how he preferred the Brave build over the pure build because he wanted more layers of play. He wanted the Omni Negate from Griffin Rider, the equip spell, in order to bounce cards such as Floodgates and stuff like that. In the TCG, we have Mystic Mine, so that's a little dangerous. And also, he explained how he only wanted to play 1 Fallen of Albaz instead of 2, and he explained pretty much everything into detail. So if you really want to check that article, make sure you check my video, first link in the description box below. He's also well aware of the conflicting between Rite of Aramesia and Aluber, which is a normal summon, yet he still chose to go for the Brave token build for the reasons I have just enumerated. Another thing to take into consideration is the fact that he, alongside most of the other OCG players, choose not to play the Frightful package in the Brave build, whereas in the TCG, things are not that way. First of all, we get to play Fairy Tail Snow, and they also get to play Fairy Tail Snow, but they're not doing it, whereas pretty much all the Despia builds that I've seen in the TCG are playing Fairy Tail Snow right now. And another thing is that, as I said, we are all playing the Frightful package, whether it would be in the pure Despia build or the Brave Token Engine build, and the reason for that is because we really wanted to prioritize the Summon of Masquerade in order to burn our opponent as much as possible, instead of just playing more hand shops. Masquerade is pretty good in formats where a lot of combo decks exist because combo decks have a tendency to need a lot of effects to go through. So obviously if they need to use like 13 effects before they can do something, they're just going to burn themselves down and they're going to die. Therefore, since all the Brave token builds are also playing the Frightful package, we started noticing a trend of people playing less hand shops and sometimes even no board breaking cards, or the opposite, people playing a lot of board breaking cards and 0 hand shops, and basically people are trying to fit that 9 card engine while also playing the whatever, I think 6-7 cards engine of the Frightful package. So 2 to 3 copies of Edgem Chain, 3 copies of Frightful Patchwork, and 2 copies of Polymerization, meaning that it is really hard to have pretty much everything in one single deck, and people are making concessions now. So would you have to cut cards like Albion the Shrouded Dragon, or Branded and Lost, or well, Branded Lost rather, and the Tribrigade Mercourier, the 3rd copy of Aluber, a lot of hand shops, etc.? It really depends. Because of that, your deck will have less engine cards, but it doesn't mean that your deck is going to be less consistent, because even if you can just make Verte Anaconda, it still gets to you to your engine because you're going to have an interruption in the form of Mirror Jade, and that's actually going to help your consistency because you're going to be foolishing for Albion, which searches you the Branded Fusion, and that's going to allow you to play it for next turn. So in other words, the Brave token build actually has kind of less engine cards, meaning that it has to rely more on Verte Anaconda, which means that if the ban list hits Verte Anaconda next format, the Brave token engine, we could actually say that it got a substantial hit compared to the pure build, and that is definitely something to keep into consideration if you want to play this deck long term. The conclusion to this video isn't that one build is objectively superior than the other, but rather that both of them have their pros and cons, and you shouldn't necessarily follow trends because things have a tendency to change. What I mean by that is that if people all suddenly start playing the pure build because they witnessed how good it was in the YCS, people are going to start preparing just for the pure build, which means that the Brave build is going to be a little better, and vice versa. And that really is what deck building consists of nowadays. So being aware of trends, being able to deck build and construct your ratios and tech choices depending on what other people are playing so that your deck is mathematically optimized to beat as many people as possible. But yeah, both builds are valid in their own way. We just have to adapt. That's basically all I have to say for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.